Now, it's been about a couple of weeks since we brought you our awards, and we've been feeling an immense sense of pride because it was our biggest and best event ever in our 10th edition. Now, always, we like to take you through the process. We also like to have a lot of transparency and talk about just why the products that won did actually go home with those trophies. And so now it's time to get you all the details on how the jury scored, what that scoring pattern was like, and what parameters these products really did well on.
It is always a mammoth exercise, and it started the same this year too. But there was an onus on us to make the NDTV Car and Bike Awards better and bigger, like we have every year. This year, that took on a special meaning with it being our 10th edition. Yes, that was quite a milestone for us, and we did celebrate that in style. And I am proud of our process and indeed the winners. But now let's get on to the hard facts that truly matter in the end. The winners are decided using a similar judging system as the World Car Awards, with whom we are associated. The car space first. Only nominees in categories which have cars below the 30 lakh price point were in the running for the NDTV Car of the Year. This includes the winner of the entry hatchback, the Maruti Suzuki Celerio, the premium hatchback, Hyundai i20, subcompact sedan, the Hyundai Accent, compact sedan, the Maruti Suzuki Ciaz, the MUV of the year, Honda Mobilio, the SUV of the year, the Mahindra Scorpio, the premium SUV of the year, that was the Santa Fe from Hyundai, and the entry premium car of the year, the Audi A3. The final scores were tabulated across 7 voting parameters, and each juror can score each parameter on a scale of 1 to 10. The winners were then ascertained based on that tally. I was particularly heartened that our jury took the bold decision to award what it truly considered the best car, with no inhibitions or thought to how it should be done. Hence, the Audi A3 won on pure merit, and as you can see, it was a clear winner for 6 of the 9 jurors and was second highest for 2. The Hyundai i20 was the fierce rival with very high scores from all jurors, getting 4 of the highest and 4 second highest votes. And the Honda Mobilio was the surprise of the pack, beating strong contenders like the Maruti Suzuki Ciaz, the Mahindra Scorpio and the Hyundai Accent to take the 3rd spot. But now I want to take you through how these scores were arrived at. And this is where things get interesting. The value of voting across parameters is well manifested in the numbers you see. You can clearly see how a product doesn't get just an overall score, which may have a juror not think about certain USPs or strengths, but instead provides a very comprehensive picture of each juror's assessment. Look at the few expected and few surprising positions here. On value for money, it's not surprising to see the Maruti Suzuki Celerio and the Hyundai Accent top the list. But the i20 also scored well here despite being a fully loaded premium hatch. On safety, the surprise was the 2nd spot to the Santa Fe with its dual front and curtain airbags, ABS, EBD, rollover sensor, stability management and ISOFIX for child seats, all being noticed and applauded. The Audi A3 of course won the safety, environment and performance and handling parameters with ease. But the i20 pipped it in the significance to segment category. That is a crucial area that helps the juror compare the car in question to its own peers rather than other nominees. The i20 also won on emotional appeal, which is why it wasn't surprising that it went on to win the Design of the Year award. Now on to the two-wheelers. It was a mixed bag. It is motorcycles and scooters up to 1000cc that are in consideration here, with the niche high displacement bikes not in contention. The real fight here came down to 3 players. All were very strong indeed. The Honda Activa 125 fared very well in the jury awards this time around. Not only did it win Scooter of the Year, but as you can see, it tied in 3rd place overall with the very capable KTM RC200. The RC390 was a whisker behind in 4th place, just half a point behind. The Harley-Davidson Street 750 was a very strong nominee as the company's first product made outside the US and available at a more affordable price point than its usual portfolio. It also got a consistent second highest ranking from all but one juror. Eventually, only 14 points separated it from the Suzuki Gixxer, which got 4 highest ranks. Now a look at the breakup by parameter, and here again it's a very interesting picture. The Suzuki Gixxer rated very high on several parameters for the jury. It also just barely missed being number 1 in significance to segment and performance and handling. It was also heartening to see how Harley-Davidson's efforts with its brand new strategy with the Street 750 bore fruit, with it topping the value for money charts. It also tied with the Gixxer on safety. Despite the Gixxer and the Street 750 staying ahead of the KTM RC390 on emotional appeal, the latter still won the Design of the Year award. And the Honda Activa was in a 3-way tie on environment with the Gixxer and TVS Star City Plus, given their high fuel efficiency claims. The NDTV Car of the Year and Two-Wheeler of the Year awards are both just as important to us as the CNB Viewer's Choice Car and Two-Wheeler of the Year. Now this category is of course decided through public voting, and both our winners this time had a clear margin of victory. The Hyundai i20 beat the Honda City, while on the bike side the winner was once again the Suzuki Gixxer. And now it's time for us to tell you which of our lucky viewers have won the contest. He voted for the Suzuki Gixxer and he will now ride one home. Congrats to Deven Batra from Ambala. And now for the winner for the Viewer's Choice car, the Hyundai i20, and it is Payal Vora from Hyderabad. Many congrats. The CNB team will be in touch with both of you to initiate the process of getting your prizes to you.